right.
All right, onward and upward.
Let's do it. Well,
All right.
Downward now, we're at the top.
Well, yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Tell me what time it is.
Sure, it is, by my watch, 5 after 8.
Thank you.
All right, enjoy the day.
You too.
Thanks.
Geez, there's a success story right there. So where they just take like a slice of your disc and they cut it out?
Yeah, the slice that had bulged out, they somehow sliced that away so it's no longer on the nerve. And I don't know if they put something on it or what. You know, at that point I was just like, if that's what you think's the best to do, just do it. And I didn't like get into researching the details of it or anything.
I remember you were struggling. I used to walk around because you can't build it. I used to see you.
Oh, when I sat down on the second floor there that year, yeah, I was in. Some days I got up, I could barely walk. It popped in April. It happened right before my mom passed away. That was another thing that aggravated it all, is that happened to me, and then she died a few days later. So I was trying to deal with that. I was in all this pain. Then I had the problem with my stomach because I was taking too much ibuprofen.
I remember that day you came down on my desk. I was like, Tony, call the emergency. You're like, no, obviously. I'm like, ah. I was stressed out on that one.
That turned out to be a false alarm, but I did get to meet Miss America.
You get to meet who?
Miss America.
Oh, yeah. That was awesome. Dude, I just want to go to her once and have her give me the exam and then I move on. Kind of a dirty
Tape. Oh my.
Oh, my. I'm back there. I think we all are. I'm just doing one of those things.
Yeah, you're right.
That's a great story. So basically, was it almost instantaneous?
Oh, dude, I woke up from the surgery. You know, I came out of the anesthesia, and they had me in the recovery room for, I don't know, an hour or two until they were able to kind of give me some liquids and whatnot. They brought me up to a room. I laid in the room for a couple of hours. They came in and they said, "How you feeling?" And I said, "Oh, yeah, I seem all right." And they said, "Do you think you could get up? Do you think you could stand up?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "I'd really like to go to the bathroom," which I couldn't do. Yeah, anesthesia screws you all up for that. But I felt like I needed to. You know, I had the urge. So I wanted to get up and try. And I stood up, and right away, I was sore because I've just had surgery. I could feel the difference right away. I could tell it wasn't there anymore. That pain, it was like an electric, sharp nerve pain that went from here all the way down to my toes. And it was brutal. I mean, the quality of life living with pain like that, I don't know how people do it.
Tony, 18 months of sciatica, my friend. I remember it well.
Yeah.
I used to wake up every night and someone like took a knife and shoved it to my lower back.
And it was just, I could tell. All right, I'm sore right now from the surgery, but this worked well. And it's not perfect. I still have some numbness. I still have a little occasional pain, especially like around my hips, which may be not even related to the surgery.
Right.
But you know what? I'll take it. I can live with this.
Yeah.
And look, I'm out here doing this with you. You know? I couldn't have done this a few years ago.
Well, you know, it feels so bad too. I think you've gone through it. I went through the sciatica. I have so much empathy. Like, I don't think people appreciate my poor sister right now is where you and I, well, I can't, you know, it's similar to you and I have similar pain. She's been going through it now. She's on a month like 4.
Oh boy.
And I feel so bad for her. And, Tony, I
Yeah.
I'm so convinced that we evolved the great machinery that we are, but it's in a small zone where you put on a certain amount of fat, you can go for periods of, days without food.
Right.
But we are not designed for this, and it's destroying people. You can't suddenly say that to somebody, especially a female. But I said to my mother, Mom, you've got to encourage her to find a way to lose weight. So it's so sad. I heard she was sleeping on the floor for like 3 days.
Oh, yeah.
I felt so bad for her. So I just tried to, she doesn't like being asked for it all the time. So last time I was up there, I swung by and brought her a meal and just.
So have they diagnosed? Do they understand, like, if she had an MRI or anything?
I think they want to give surgery, and she won't give surgery. I'm gonna tell you a story though.
Yeah.
I mean, because her husband.
Has she been doing like PT and or any like any other kind of like low impact treatments?
Physical therapy is what she's been doing, and it's not.
She's not responding to it. Yeah.
Months.
Does she,
kids too, and they're like, don't pick up the kids. She's like, yeah, how am I gonna not pick up my kids?
it's hard. It's really real. That was what caused it for me.
Yeah.
I was always picking her up. Chen used to yell at me, "Stop picking her up so much. Stop picking her up so much." She always wanted to be picked up. I always picked her up.
My sister always has her son in her.
How old is she?
Oh, her son is probably.
How old is she?
Oh, my sister, she's 44.
And she's got 2 young kids?
Yeah, one. Well, when I say young, I guess one's probably in first grade or second grade, and the other one's probably in
So 6
K or something like that.
6 or 7 and 4?
Maybe 4, yeah. So I think that age is too old to be picking up the kid anyways. My mother's, my mother, they always gonna judge everything.
Right.
I told her to stop carrying those kids when they were younger, and she constantly had her, and so she became so attached, and I'm like, Mom, just leave her alone. It's her parenting style.
Yeah.
You can't be, Dad used to fucking beat us with a belt. Is that good, Ma? Oh, he didn't do that. I go, oh, yeah, no, he didn't do that. My ass, he'll tell you otherwise. Not that some of these fucking kids today, but...
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Tony, I can't tell many techniques. I got a story about a guy at work, but it's not like, yeah. Gotta stick with the rules. But the whole point of the story is these young kids that are asked to work overtime or extra time on the weekends.
Yeah.
He says to me this week, I'm going to the ombudsman, that's all. That's my story. And I'm like, oh my God, they're going to laugh you over there. Because you got to work extra. But that's the generation. That's the way they were raised. Everybody gets a trophy, Tony. Everybody gets a trophy.
Yeah.
When's Christiana's first day at school?
September 10th.
Wow, is she excited?
Oh, she's very excited, yeah. Yeah, I think we all are. We're all anxious to get started.
This is first grade, right?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, so this will be, it's completely different, learning style, right?
Yeah, it's this whole Montessori principle where, you don't have as much structure. The kids, kind of dictate the flow of how they learn more. They're taught to be independent and to choose the things they want to work on, and the teacher just kind of, acts more as a guide, making sure that, they eventually get around to everything.
Funny, I would say this is awesome for 2 college-educated parents. I don't think it would work well for somebody like my parents growing up, but I think that, you guys are also kind of know exactly what, is going on and what you want her to learn, and you can help focus her at home, too,
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think she's already that kind of kid that will thrive in this environment.
Right.
You know, right. She's very self-motivated. I mean, she's been, you know, they say, oh, you know, kids don't read enough in the summertime and they have all these summer reading things and whatnot. I can't get her to put a book down.
Really?
She's especially, I mean, it was like right towards the end of kindergarten, all of a sudden it was like a switch went off and she suddenly just could read everything. It's like she just got like the phonetics and like she can just like, you know, she's at the point now where she can just guess words based on the context. You know, she might not have ever read that word before, but she knows the phonetics of how to pronounce it, and she knows the context of what she's reading, and she can make a pretty good guess most of the time. She's pretty close. And so she doesn't need us to read to her anymore. So it's like opened this huge door. It happened overnight, Jerry. It was amazing. It was like one day, Daddy, can you read this for me? Daddy, can you read this for me? And she's like, Daddy, I'm just gonna read this by myself. The next day, it was like unbelievable.
Yeah, what books is she reading? Like, what kind of...
She has like these kids magazines that she gets, like highlights, and she has, I mean, all the like books that we've bought her since she was a baby, Dr. Seuss stuff, and you know, just these little stories, Good Night Moon, and
maybe for her birthday and stuff, maybe we'll get her some books too, you know?
Yeah.
She likes to, I'll find out which one she doesn't have. I always like, you know, it's funny, Jen and I, she likes to do the jewelry, which is fine. I
don't think there's any more room to put anything on that.
Oh, really?
Actually, she loves that. Christiana appreciates that now.
Oh, she does.
There's one more charm that she wants to get, and then I think it's full.
Oh, okay. Well,
so
maybe it's a girl thing. I should keep my mouth shut.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, when she was a baby, it was just like, you know, okay, we'll put it away for her kind of thing. Yeah. She loves it now. She appreciates it now.
Oh.
Yeah, she's very, very smitten with that.
Does she wear it, like, for a special occasion?
We don't let her wear it out, but she wears it in the house sometimes. She'll get it out. And,
that's good to hear.
Yeah, so, no, she does really love that.
I'll make sure you tell her.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what the last one I think we're getting is like a dance slipper, I think.
A dance?
Yeah, like a dancing slipper, like a ballet slipper.
Yeah.
I think that's the last one that she wants to go to that store and buy.
Is that her current love, is dancing? Is that...
Oh, it's one of them. She does ballet, she's doing piano. Those are her two big things. She likes art a lot. She's been doing a lot of art this summer. Morning.
How are you?
Good, yourself?
Good, thank you.
Oh, so she just finished the camp where she did the chess. And you're saying the thing about everybody gets a trophy. It's kind of funny. He handed out a certificate of achievement to everybody in the class. We went for Parents' Day yesterday, and they did a tournament at the end, and so he called her name first because she had the lowest score. He scored everybody on the tournament.
Oh, interesting.
So she was like the bottom of it.
She probably doesn't care. And she got her certificate.
Yeah, I mean, you know, she's like, Daddy, we play chess games, I never win. I'm like, that's okay, you're learning. I said, every time you lose, you learn a little bit. You're learning how the pieces move. You're learning some of the strategy. I was like, you'll eventually start to win. It takes time. It's not easy. I'm not that good at chess either to be teaching her, but I can play with her. We can play together.
Tell her sometime when she's a little older, you and her come over, we'll have a little chess outing, and I can show her some basic, easy strategies that take most people down. To get you in an early position where you can dominate from.
Yeah.
And it's not too complicated to get there. I'll have a chess outing at the dailies.
There you go. Yeah, if she sticks with it. I mean, she's still interested in it, even though, you know, and I talked to the teacher afterwards. The teacher was an interesting guy. Rensselaer student, chem engineering, Milton Academy grad.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I talked to him a little bit yesterday, and I told him, you know, I said, Christiana really enjoyed the class. I said, even though she's, you know, kind of not, you know, not at the level of some of the other kids, because she's just really started to learn. But I said she was very excited every day coming home and showing me what she'd learned and the positions, you know, how the different pieces move and whatnot. And, you know, I definitely saw a big jump. It was more than I could teach her. I had a hard time teaching it to her. It's a lot to do all at once. And they had a very incremental way of doing it over 3 weeks.
Right.
Where they taught. It must have been boring for the kids that already knew the game.
Right. So was this camp a chess camp? Was it?
No, it was. It's called College Gate. It's down in Bridgewater, not Bridgewater State, Stonehill.
Oh, okay.
And so it's designed kind of like a college day. You have 4 different classes that you take, and you have to go between buildings to get to your classes.
Oh, wow.
Because it's right on the college campus.
But I imagine there's adults with
There's adults, yeah. The teachers, the kids that have to switch buildings, and for the little kids, the teachers bring them out to a central point, and then they get met, and then they get walked to the thing. But she knew where she was going. I mean, she guided us through the whole thing on yesterday, because she'd been doing it for 3 weeks.
Right.
So she knew where everything was. So it was pretty cool having her give us the little tour. And so you get to choose 6, you put down 6 classes, and then based on the schedule, you know, they try to give you your top 4 choices, but sometimes, you know, classes, they have to run them at the same time.
Right.
So they can't accommodate everybody, but they guarantee you that, you know, they'll give you 4 of the 6 that you choose. So we put down, you know, me and her went through the book and you know, talked about the different things they offered, and we came up with the 6 classes, and she got 1, 2, 3, and 5. So she did a dance class to start the day. Then she did a Spanish class. Then chess, and then the last class was called Creative Confections, where they did like cake decorating. So it was she loved it. Yeah. Before that, she did 2 weeks at the Mass. I don't know if you've ever even noticed that there's a little Audubon bird museum place across the street from Canton High School.
Yeah.
You ever?
High school.
Yeah, right across the street from Canton High School. There's like a little park there. It's actually quite a nice little park to go for like a 1-hour day hike.
Never noticed.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a drain. Is anybody coming down?
I don't see anybody. Oh, go behind that big rock there.
Over here.
See that big boulder there?
Yep.
Nobody's gonna see you back there.
They might see me.
Ha! Hey, ladies! Ooh, my back didn't like stopping for that shoe tie. My back is complaining about bending over to tie my shoe. That happens sometimes. You kind of get into your rhythm. I often find that when I hike. In some ways, I think that's why it's good to do it this direction, because you get that big climb out of the way early, and then you just kind of get into a groove a bit.
Yeah. I think this thing wrapped around my neck was actually really bothering.
The towel?
It's like it's great. It's a big towel. It's not really help, but I thought you had a noose.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah.
Just put it down by the side, and every once in a while, get it out. Yeah, there you go.
Exactly what I'm doing.
There you go.
It's working great.
Yeah.
And my pants are in a puddle of sweat.
Yeah. I told you it's going to be a warm one today. Humid, too. The humidity totally kicked up overnight.
Yeah.
Yesterday would have been the day, I think. Yesterday was much drier. Did you get out and see any of the meteor shower? Yeah. I usually don't either, but I did on the, what was it, Thursday morning. I woke up, it was 4 a.m. Chen and Christiana both said they wanted to go out and see it. So I woke them up. Neither one, actually Chen came down to the porch. She saw one standing on the porch and she went back in. Christiana didn't wake up at all. Yeah. I saw 11, which for my yard isn't bad because I have the light pollution plus the trees. So I really need to get somewhere where there's a dark sky to see something like that. You know, the problem is now, when I was younger, I always used to say, Josh, I'm not going to live. I'm going to move somewhere where they have really dark skies and I can get a telescope and really enjoy the view at night. And I ended up here. Of course, now I think about that and I'm like, my gosh. You know how far away I would be from good health care if I lived somewhere where there's dark skies?
Exactly. That's what you're in the middle of nowhere.
Exactly. That is the trade-off. So.
I always thought I'd want to live in Arizona. You know, coming back here, I think perfect for me. I love change of seasons. I love New England. I love the city. I love culture. If I can get out of here in January, February, I'm cool.
Yeah. All those Diamondback fans, you'd be miserable.
I love like San Diego. I love
That's another National League city.
Texas.
I've never been to Texas. Whereabouts in Texas did you like?
Drove through it. Didn't go to the nice cities, but drove through. We went across country. Geez, the second time, third time, I don't know. And
I was always interested in going to like West Texas.
I always, yeah. Well, I don't know what to talk about. I want to go to Texas. I heard Houston. Not Houston. What's that place everybody goes to?
Austin.
Yeah, the big boardwalk and stuff. You know, that's where I want to go. And I heard it's cheap.
Yeah.
You can rent a place. That's what I was telling Jen. What a great retirement plan that would be. We just go to these places, shut the house down where we're living, and rent for 2 months. She's like, okay. So, well, I'll have to bring a dog. Obviously, only going to be single. No double dogs. Love it.
Can you fly the dogs out there?
Try. Oh, if you're going to stay for 2 months, you try.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense, yeah. When's the last time you did a cross-country drive?
Huh?
When's the last time you drove that far?
Me and the ex-wife did it when I was 29, just right before I started making.
Yeah, yeah.
Right before Meditech. And then when I left Hawaii, I was like 27. I drove cross country back the other way. So I've done,
So you've done it a few times, just not recently.
not recently, all of it.
Yeah. I really have only done it once. And not all the way across. I went as far as Utah.
Well, my one back from Hawaii, I landed in Cal, but I did a 1 year stop in Arizona, so I guess that doesn't really count.
Yeah.
I got from Arizona Street.
Yeah, that's about the same as mine. I drove, when I was coming back from my cross-country trip, I drove from Badlands National Park to Pittsburgh straight through.
Wow.
Yeah.
He was tired of living on the
I was just in the zone.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, because, I mean, the whole trip, it was like, I often, you know, found a place to pull over and pulled over and slept and whatnot, or got a room or something. And I was thinking that's what I was going to do.
Right.
That's what I initially went into it with. And,
You went out with a guy, right? Yeah, out there?
yeah, we didn't have a car for that trip. This was solo.
Oh.
I did another, nobody wanted to go. I couldn't find anybody that wanted to go with me, and I wanted to go out again with I'd done it solo, and it was so hard to get places.
Yeah.
So I said, next time I'm gonna take my car out, so I
You
can.
just got in your car one day from Connecticut and drove to the Badlands.
I drove to Colorado. I started in Colorado. Started in Leadville, Colorado was kind of my first stop,
Yeah.
and then I went to. From there, I went down through central Colorado, drove by Black Canyon of the Gunnison. I was going to go to Telluride, but I ended up skipping it, and I drove out to Arches National Park, spent some time there, went to Canyonlands.
Did you camp the whole time?
Yeah, camped or got a room, and then I went to then I drove down to southern Utah. I went to Zion, went to Bryce. And then I went north from there. I went to up through Salt Lake City, didn't stop. I went into Idaho. I went to Craters of the Moon National Monument. And then I went to the Tetons, Yellowstone, Mount Rushmore, Jewel Cave, and then the Badlands was the last park that I stopped in.
That's a trip.
Yeah, it was really good.
Is that because you had a summer break or something?
I was working for my dad, so, you know, there wasn't really much going on in the beginning of the summer. So,
What are you going for?
3 weeks. Yeah.
That's an awesome trip.
Yeah, it was really cool. And so then I was in the Badlands, and did a couple of little hikes around there and took a bunch of pictures, and it was like, I think it was like 2 in the afternoon. And I said, I feel pretty good. I had gotten a room the night before, so I'd gotten a really good night's sleep in a bed. And, Devil's Tower, too. I went to Devil's Tower that morning before Badlands. Oh, that's not good.
Damn. Do something a little bit better with those.
Remember Close Encounters of the Third Kind?
Yep.
The big tower there?
Yep.
Yeah, I went there. It's all right. I mean, I'm glad I saw it. I wouldn't rush to go back there.
I love that movie.
That is a good movie. I haven't seen that for years.
It's funny. I'll never forget. I did a good amount. I just always used to go back up to the Grand Canyon. I don't know why. I'm just so fascinated with it my whole life. When I was there by myself in Arizona, I'd start on a Saturday morning. No, actually I work Saturday, so I did a Sunday, and I drive. It's like a 5-hour drive. Sometimes I drive up and I had Monday off. Just to hike around all by myself. It was great.
Nice.
I didn't have much money, so I had to use to come back. It was great.
Yeah, so I just started driving out of the Badlands, and I drove through. I'm trying to remember what states I went through. I went through South Dakota, and then I think I went into Minnesota. I think I drove most of the night through Minnesota and then into Wisconsin, and then I came down through Chicago at rush hour the next morning. That's where I really kind of was like, I got stuck in rush hour traffic going through Chicago. And it was like going from like the middle of nowhere in the middle of the night and having like totally empty highways to like being in that rush hour traffic after having driven all night was like, oh my God, I need to stop. So I got through that, and I crossed the border into Indiana. And the first big rest area in Indiana, I pulled off, and I turned the car off, and I just sat there for about 15 minutes, and I didn't fall asleep. And I said, I'm gonna get up and walk around a little bit. I went in, brushed my teeth, washed my face, splashed some water on my face a little bit. Walked into the restaurant. Said, yeah, I'll have a cup of coffee. Got a cup of coffee. Went back out to the car. Said, I'm ready to go.
Wow.
I'm ready to go again. And I got back in the car and I drove all day. And I'm like, I had a friend in Pittsburgh. So I had a place to stay once I got there. So I said, I'm gonna make Pittsburgh tonight. It became like the thing to do. I was so wound up by the time I got there. I got there like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so it was like 26 hours from Badlands to Pittsburgh.
I was gonna say, too bad you just left Chicago. I love the Windy City.
Yeah, I wasn't into the exploring the cities at the time.
Yeah.
For me it was all about the parks.
Yeah.
But yeah, in retrospect I should have spent more time doing stuff like that. Yeah.
Make sure you're in the right series. Because they got capital of the country right now.
Chicago is? Oh boy. Yeah.
I thought that guy was going to turn it around to, we're missing the finish. Rahm Emanuel. Go to him again, though, give it another straight shot. We start at 7?
Yeah, just after 7, probably about 10 after 7, so we're about 90 minutes in. Yeah. Yeah.
Another climb up.
Yeah. A couple of smaller ones.
Buckhill's a big dog, right?
Buck Hill is a pretty good one. Chickatobit is probably the most difficult one left.
You are here,
Yeah.
and then our car is parked. Oh man! And we started right there.
Yeah.
Where we parked?
We're parked right by that little dotted line there.
Holy shnikes! It's about, I'd say, a little quarter of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all, Mr. Messier. So we're about to go up. We're at what elevation?
What is it, like Tucker or something, this next one?
We're on the blue line, right?
We're on the north one, so we're here. Oh, there's a hole there.
Yeah, we're going to Hemingway Hill.
Hemingway.
Next. And then...
Yeah, I think there's like a little one here before it, but I think the sticker might be over it.
But we're already at... Is that right? We're already at 1100?
No.
Can't be, right? We must be
We're
at
on the top
bottom.
blue. We're on the top blue one here.
Well, we got off Wolcott Hill, right? We just finished that one.
Yeah, Wolcott Hill.
And so that was there, so we're at the bottom. So we're going to go up to...
1150.
Okay, so we're going to go... We're going to do 1150. Okay.
1150, then 1170, and then we'll come down to the state police barracks down here.
Nice, that's where I can have my morning snack. Nice.
If those are are those elevation? No, those aren't elevations.
They're not elevations?
No, those are markers. Those are trail intersection markers.
Okay, because I was like, this doesn't... Oh, it tells you...
Yeah,
here,
635 for Great Blue Hill.
630.
I don't think it even gives elevations for the smaller ones.
Oh.
Buck is 496. Chickatobit is 517.
Okay.
This is a little one we hit at the end.
Yep.
353.
So Chickatobit's the big dog, and the one that's the warm-up to it is Buck Hill, which is close.
Buck Hill
So,
actually
17.
is a harder ascent from the other side than it
Okay.
is. Our side, the trail is pretty gradual going up.
And we're the blue line the whole way, right?
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right, buddy. Skyline Trail.
Skyline Trail. Yeah, my biggest, that That Quebec City trip that I did recently was the longest drive I did in a long time. Because I didn't go anywhere with Chen when she first came here because she had such bad car sickness.
She had what?
Car sickness.
Oh,
Motion sickness.
yeah.
She had it